Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Into the Vault, the show where we reach back into the Disney vault, pull out a movie, and find out if it was a hidden treasure, or if it was locked away for our own good. I'm your host, Garrison MacCraw, and with me today is just a pumpkin? What is that?
Actually, we have multiple pumpkins in this room. We're decorating for fall. Decorating for autumn, which means I bring out all of the pumpkins that I hoard.
The Into the Vault studio is mostly just pumpkins right now. I can't find any of the Disney movies in the vault because it's just pumpkins.
Yeah, you open a VHS tape and there's pumpkins.
A pumpkin falls out.
Of it. Not just decorative pumpkins, actual farmed.
Full-size pumpkins just barreling out.
Uh-huh. That's what the meaning of fall truly is.
Yeah. And so I've decided today we're going to watch the most fall-related... Did I say who's with Jayden McGrael?
Yeah. People recognize my voice, Garrison.
Yeah.
I am the host with the most. I am your guest star for half of these episodes. I live in the studio. I
sleep on all the pumpkins.
I'm on half your episodes. How would people not know it's me?
What if this is their first one? What if they were just searching Oliver and Company?
I am your girlfriend. I am the greatest good you are ever gonna get.
I just picture someone going into podcasts and typing in Oliver and Company review. And this is their first episode, so we have to present all information like it's brand new.
Then you know what? I'll be anonymous. It's fine.
But yeah, we're watching the most fall movie I could possibly think of, Oliver and Company. I said that during the bit before. I said Oliver and Company. I'm so bad with the reveals today.
Yeah.
Yeah, this hit 1988 movie. It's a Disney cartoon.
Is it fall themed? Is
No.
it based in fall?
No, not at all.
I did not get the joke because I do not know this movie.
Yeah, what do you know about Oliver and Company?
I don't know. It's probably the only animated Disney movie that I haven't seen, aside from The Rescuers Down Under or any of the straight to DVD sequels.
Yeah.
So I get it screwed up with some other movie in my head, and I don't
It's probably
know.
just The Rescuers.
Probably either The Rescuers
Great
or
Mouse
Stuart
Detective?
Little or Great Mouse Detective, but it's not about or American Mouse Comes to America.
I'm a Russian mouse.
Yeah.
It's an allegory. Welcome to
that
Don
one.
Bluth.
I think so. So I know that it's a cat, a little cat.
Yeah. Well,
and animals and cars.
in front of you, I placed a poster
Yep.
for the movie.
Yep.
So give that a little look-see. What do we have going on?
You have the poster in the apartment, so I should have known.
Yeah.
The whole poster. Well, there's the cat that I was talking about, and he's on a piano in New York, and it's being lifted up a fire escape. So you see all of these other dogs that look like they are purely stereotypes of their dog breeds, like a fancy pants poodle and a little bulldog who has a stupid tattoo. No, he doesn't have a tattoo. That's just his ear. Oops.
All these dogs have tattoos.
Oh, yeah.
2 of them.
I think they must be criminals because of all their tattoos.
It's the gang. It's the gang symbol is just tattoos of ears.
Mm-hmm. And they're all why is there just one cat? What? Why is it dogs and then just one cat? Why isn't it pet store animals? Why is this not The Secret Life of Pets? What's going on?
This is The Secret Life of Pets. Actually, this is based off of another property, a pre-existing thing like Disney tends to do. But instead of a classic fairy tale, this is Charles Dickens.
Oh, is it based off Oliver Twist Oliver?
Yeah, it's based off A Tale of Two Cities. It was the best of cats, it was the worst of cats.
No.
No.
It was New York, it was New York.
No, it is based off Oliver Twist Oliver.
Oh, okay.
He wants some more.
So So, hang on. So the cat's name is Oliver.
Yes.
Okay, so if Oliver is supposed to be sympathetic and different from all of these people because he's an orphan, is that alluding that he'll grow up into a dog? Because he's a cat.
Well, all of the gang and Oliver are orphans as well. So I don't think
why aren't they all cats then?
because he's different. Because he's not one of the cool. I don't know. I haven't seen this movie in a very, very, very long time.
I remembered the movie I mistake it for.
Yeah.
All Dogs Go to Heaven.
Yes.
Yeah.
All the designs are the same.
Yes. With like gangster cats, you know,
Yeah.
and it's New York City, and the bulldog has a cigar.
I remember not liking watching All Dogs Go to Heaven because I'm like, I don't want to think about dogs dying.
I cried big sad kid tears during that movie every time I watched it.
All right, so what do you think is gonna happen in this thing?
Probably what Charles Dickens wrote, I'm guessing.
Yeah, the same thing.
The exact same thing. Actually, I don't remember, like... So, the story of Oliver Twist, I kind of, like, mix up in my head, and because I remember characters so well that I don't remember, like, what comes next in the story so much. But I know the beginning pretty well, and that's that there's an orphan, and he's an orphan, and he runs away from the orphanage, and then he gets kidnapped by a gang. So this cat's gonna be kidnapped by dog gangs.
With ear tattoos.
With ear tattoos.
Yeah, well, I guess the only thing we can do now is watch this thing and see if we do or don't want some more.
Does he say it?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
And we are back. We have just finished Oliver and Company. Mm-hmm. Jayden, may I start off saying something?
Yeah. Sure.
This is the worst type of movie. The worst type of movie for me to review on this show. It is neither horrible. It's not great. I can't rave about it. There's not enough dumb things to make jokes about. What am I even doing? Jayden, what am I doing? I just had to get that off my chest.
Okay.
So this movie opens up. We're in New York City. 1988 New York. It's not a period piece. Although now it's a period piece of...
Yeah, this movie was not trying to be the most 80s movie I've ever seen, but somehow it still achieved it. It was trying to be so meta and modern of like, look at us. Look at me. I'm an 80s. I hold a jukebox. It's the start of hip hop. That it became such a token piece of media that I think anybody who wants, like, 80s stuff, I guess, anybody who is born in the wrong generation
I wish I was in the 80s.
Yeah.
I wish I could have had... I don't know.
A jukebox.
I wish I could have watched Ferris Bueller's Day Off in theaters.
Yep.
Yep, there we go.
Mm-hmm. I wish I could wear some high tops and
Shoulder pads.
and dance my way down the street. Well, I'm talking about like the start of hip hop style 80s. Yeah. I wish I could wear some stripy pattern that has little swirlies and is neon.
Experience Turtle Mania when the Ninja Turtles were at their peak. Is that what we're talking about?
I think you just don't know anything about hip-hop.
Oh, yeah.
I think you're just not coming into this with any hip-hop knowledge, so you don't know what I'm trying to say.
They had Converse?
And yeah, it was like the start of like sneakers and tennis shoes being like the big money piece.
So the film opens up and we see a box of cats, and there's one who's a little orange cat watching all his friends get picked up.
All of his siblings. Not just his friends, those are his brothers.
You are my brother, Catikin. No.
And a cat.
And a cat.
Yeah.
Yeah, all his siblings are being swept away by kids. For some reason, the kids don't want the orange cat.
The problem with cats getting adopted is normally, like, the darker colored cats don't get adopted. And he was, like, this bright orange cat, and he stood out. And not only that, but he was, like, really social with everybody who was coming around to adopt something. And they all just picked out other cats, I guess.
There's a big rainstorm, and the little box Oliver's in is washed away, and Oliver's scared and alone for 5 seconds?
Well, he's starving for a long time. Like, we don't know how long he's in that box.
Yeah.
So he's, like, looking around for food. He comes up to this hot dog cart.
But this guy hates animals.
Yeah.
Classic New York hot dog vendor.
I know. He just... really good with people.
Hates animals.
Hates animals. That's one thing I know about hot dog vendors. And he basically, like, kicks Oliver off to the side. And that's where Oliver meets Billy Joel.
Billy Joel the dog.
Billy Joel the dog.
He's playing Dodger. The streetwise, I know how to pickpocket dog.
Oh, he's the most... He is a whole vibe.
Yeah.
He is... The way his little, like, dog paws just march on the ground, it's like hip-hop brewed this dog, like, marinated this dog.
As if it was played by Billy Joel.
Yes, himself. Like, this is a sunglasses wearing, like, necktie, neckerchief, ascot dog.
Would you say this dog did or didn't start the fire?
He didn't start the fire.
It was always burning since the world's been turning.
Yeah, he didn't start the fire.
Well, he didn't light it, but he tried to fight it.
Yeah.
So Oliver and Dodger meet up, and Dodger's like, "Hey, let me show you how it's done. I'm a dog."
You've got to act like a New Yorker
Hey,
dog.
You get out my way.
Yeah, and they basically, like heist and jinx this guy.
They steal some hot dogs.
And, it's not just, like, sandwich hot dogs, though. It's like the sausage link style I've never seen in real life ever
where they're
before.
all connected.
Like Scooby-Doo.
Where you, like, can slurp it up somehow.
Yeah, like the entire line
sausage
where it
links.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Dodger, like, puts it around his neck.
Exist.
Dodger puts it around his neck like a little necklace.
Uh-huh.
Amazing. He starts off singing a song about, hey, I have no worries, no cares.
Okay, I want to say best part of the movie.
Yep.
Best part of the movie.
First 10 minutes, Dodger sings a song. He's like, life's great. Look at me living life.
Mm-hmm. And the piano we were talking about from the movie poster, he actually does get on that, which I was really excited about.
You're like, yay, we did it.
Yay, they actually did what they do in the movie poster. They never do that. My goal in life is to just be a dog in New York with sausage links floating around on a piano and singing as the world 3D spins around me.
But Oliver's like, hey man, we're gonna share because we both got those together. And Dodger's like, no way. Ha ha.
Yeah.
Consider it a free lesson in street savoir-faire. That's a line.
And because Oliver got his lesson in street savoir-faire, he is somehow able to follow Dodger all the way home.
Yep.
To his boat.
Yep.
Because dogs can own a boat.
Yep. So Dodger gets in and he's like, hey, man, I had a great day.
To his dog roommates.
To his dog roommates.
Let's go over the dog roommates.
Okay.
Just their personalities.
You have Tito, played by Cheech of Cheech and Chong fame. You also would know him as Benzi? Benzi?
Yeah, because...
From The Lion King?
Because Shanzai is Whoopi Goldberg.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is the one that's not
and Ed is whoever Ed is.
Yeah. So he's a very fast-talking...
Think a Chihuahua.
Yeah.
he's a chihuahua.
Yeah.
There you go.
You have Einstein, who's like, he's dumb, is his character. Mm-hmm. You have Francis,
the English bulldog obsessed with acting.
They're like, hey, Frank. He's like, no. It's Francis. He watches Shakespeare.
Yeah, he was like straight up watching Macbeth.
You have Rita, who's the girl.
Yeah.
That's it. That's
Good for her.
Good for her.
Mm-hmm. She sings sometimes whenever they need another harmony. And they're all owned by
Fagin.
Yeah.
So if you know the story of Oliver Twist, Fagin's the leader of like a gang of pickpocket kids, but in this they're all dogs.
Because that makes sense.
Yeah, good job.
Woohoo.
But yeah, Dodger's telling him about his day, and he's like, and I got these hot dogs, and I wrestled them away from this terrible cat-like beast. And then Oliver falls in because he was on the roof and falls in, and he's like, oh yeah, this is the cat. He's actually not bad. He's 2 years old. And the cat's like, hello, I am a small cat. Can I join your group?
That cat is not 2 years old.
In human years.
That cat is not 2 years old in human years or in cat years.
In cat years, I mean. He is a little.
He is a little, but a 2-year-old cat is like a fully grown cat.
Okay, he is the equivalent of like a 2-year-old human.
No, because he fully talks.
He's the equivalent of a 5-year-old child.
Like a 7-year-old child, but like a 15-week-old cat.
This is what people come here for.
Yes.
Arguments about Disney cat ages.
You know what? I will fight to the death about the age.
You want to go?
Yes, I will go right now. How old is Marie?
From Aristocats?
Yes.
2?
No! You missed again. No.
So they're like, welcome to the gang.
Yep.
And Fagin's like, hey, anyone get anything good? And they're giving him like all this garbage because they're pickpocket dogs. And he's like, this is great, guys. I'm really proud of you. Yeah. And he presents it to, he owes
mob
money.
Boss
he owes money to mob boss Bill Sykes. And Bill Sykes is like, this is all garbage. And you have 3 more days to get me my money, or accidents may happen.
So Fagin adopts Oliver. Fagin now has like a new determination because of the looming threat of death. He has a new determination to not have any more debt. So they go into the city again. They're gonna try extra hard to run some really good schemes. And they see this limo and they're like, perfect. So all of the dogs together do the classic heist of like, oh no, somebody accidentally got hit by a car. One of the dogs falls down fake dead in front of the car while the others try and get into the car to get money, I guess. And Oliver goes into the car with the little chihuahua. And surprise, the driver got out to take care of the dog, but the driver was just chauffeuring around this younger passenger who, what was her name?
Jenny.
And Jenny sees Oliver and is like, oh no, this poor stray cat, he's starving, we have to take him home. So as soon as the chauffeur comes back into the car, they drive off with Oliver. The entire gang is like, we lost our brother,
our new
of
friend.
One day.
We have to get him back.
Mm-hmm.
So at the rich folks' home, Jenny and Oliver really start hitting it off, hanging out, having all these activities. There's one other dog in the rich household that's a very Bette Midler type, as in
Voiced by Bette Midler.
Yeah.
Yeah. Her song was the Broadway solo that I've been looking for to add to my audition book for the past 21 years of my life. It's It's probably the best audition song for any sort, going out for any role ever that was played by Bernadette Peters
or Bette Midler.
Or Bette Midler. And she's a glamorous poodle show dog. Mm-hmm. So she's all about like her fashion and her makeups, and think of a poodle, that's her character.
Yeah.
And she's not happy about having another animal in the house, despite we see her talking to a goldfish. So I guess it's okay for a goldfish to be a roommate, but not a cat.
I mean, if you had a roommate and one was a goldfish and one was a cat, you would notice one a little bit more, wouldn't you?
I would notice both aren't paying rent.
Get out of here, you goldfish.
Yeah, squatters.
Yeah, Jenny and Oliver hitting it off, but back in Camp Fagin, Dodger and all them are like, we have to get him back. So they go to the house.
While Jenny is away.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they run one of their classic heists and break in, and they're caught by Bette Midler herself. And they're like, we're just here for our cat. And she's like, well, I want the cat gone, so let me help you steal him.
So then they do, and they're gone.
Yeah, so they do.
And Oliver gets back and like, we rescued you. He's like, I really liked it there. Can I please go back? And Dodger's like, after all I've done for you, you just want to go back to where they feed you and bathe you? And
you don't have to work and steal?
And they play with you? I cannot believe the disrespect I'm hearing in my own boat household.
And then they're about to like send Oliver on his way to find his way back to the apartment when Fagin walks in, picks up Oliver, and Oliver has this brand new collar that Penny gave him. Mm-hmm. And he's like, hang on, this says like she lives on 5th Avenue. That's a rich people place. I can just hold this cat hostage
for ransom
and get the money so that I don't die from a mob boss incident. So he does that.
A mob boss incident.
Yeah, a mob boss incident.
You know how some people die in like tragic like vending machine accidents? Mm-hmm. Others die in like tragic mob boss related accidents.
Yeah, mob boss related activity.
Just accidents.
No, accidents.
So Jenny gets the note and she goes to the dock to try and find Oliver and get him back. And she runs into Fagin, but doesn't realize Fagin's the one who took Oliver in the first place. And they have a conversation. And she's like, I can't believe someone would steal a cat. It's just so awful. And Fagin's like, hey, it might have just been someone who had no choice. And she's like, it's still awful.
She guilt trips him into, like, making up a lie of, like, oh, I just found this cat down here. Is he the cat you're talking about? And just gives Oliver back after this entire scheme. After Fagin gives Oliver back to Jenny, we find out that mob boss Bill Nye, the
mob boss guy.
Bill Nye, the mob boss. That's it. So we find out that Bill was, like, watching this entire thing. Bill kidnaps Jenny, and takes her down to his office and ties her up. And Dodger comes up to Oliver and is like, well, kid, we gotta save her. And Fagin comes along too, and so do the rest of the dogs. And they go down to the office, run a 10-minute, like, segment. I mean, this is the part where both of us kind of, like, zoned out of just them trying to cut off security cameras and, like, untie her from her chair and sneak around and hijinks.
Yeah. The important thing is it leads to a chase.
Yeah.
Where Fagin is on, like, a motorized cart.
It's like a Vespa with a shopping cart on the back.
And
with all of the dogs inside of it, Jenny inside of it. And then they're running away from, like, this mob boss car.
Yeah. So Bill Sykes...
with killer dogs.
So Bill Sykes is driving his car, and the chase ultimately leads into the subway, and Bill Sikes is driving his car on subway line.
Yep.
And the chase. This is so hard. Okay.
The chase leads all the way to the Brooklyn Bridge.
To the Brooklyn Bridge,
and somehow they're driving up and down the railings of the Brooklyn Bridge.
I mean, I've been on the Brooklyn Bridge. You can do that. You can drive up and down those lines.
You can drive a Vespa up and down those lines.
Oh, yeah.
But any two tire...
I'm kidding. You cannot.
No.
The point is, Bill Sikes' car gets hit by a train. Because he's driving on railroad tracks. On the Brooklyn Bridge, this... I don't think I have a good understanding of New York architecture. Or the movie doesn't.
Yeah. No, so... Maybe they get to the bridge after the subway. I just remember them driving on on the bridge.
Maybe they put railroad track... Okay. So yeah, Bill Sikes gets hit by a train, and they're like, we did it. We all saved the day, and everything's great. And Jenny invites them all back to her house, and now they all live together, including this old man. This old homeless man now lives... with just the little girl.
They were just visiting for, like, her birthday party because I guess that's happening.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's also dressed entirely like Orphan Annie. Mm-hmm. Like, it's very obviously done.
And then the movie ends.
Yeah, the movie ends with...
Oliver's like, wow, I get to live here, and I'll come and visit because you guys are great.
And... Dodger is like, yeah, we'll catch you on the flippity flip. And then just, like, steps onto a car. Like, he's on the sidewalk, right? And then he just steps onto a car that's, like, driving. Like, it's not a stopped car. It is a fully trafficked car.
And then sings more of Why Should I Worry?
Uh-huh. Honestly, ends the best way it could have.
What a great movie.
Uh-huh. Yep.
Jayden, want to hear some fun facts and trivia about this movie?
Boy, do I.
So...
Get it.
Very nice.
Boy, do I.
So, this movie is obviously supposed to be a rendition of Oliver Twist. But after watching it, I can tell you, it is only vaguely Oliver Twist. Like, some of the character names are the same, I guess, but... none of the rest of it lines up at all.
It was not a script that they had any sort of idea what it would be.
It was almost like... it felt more like an Annie script with dogs than an Oliver script with dogs. Like Little Orphan Annie.
Yeah. I also don't think it was supposed to be initially with animals. I thought it was like the... writing of it didn't make sense for some of it with animals.
Well, because Oliver's not animals.
Especially the song, Why Should I Worry? Like, it's a great song. It is a bop by every definition, but it is not a dog. It is not from the point of view of a dog.
Maybe they realized Billy Joel couldn't believably pull off a 12-year-old character. Like real Artful Dodger, who's like 12.
Well, not this version of Dodger. This version of Dodger is
an 40-year-old dog man.
Dog man, yes.
There are actually some references to the Disney parks about Oliver and Company. No more, but when it came out, they were trying to push this thing. They put a Oliver and Company float before the parade.
Iconic.
Not during the parade, before it.
Iconic.
It
Perfect.
featured, so it has Oliver and Jenny and Dodger and Tito and Bette Midler Dog. All of your favorites.
All of my favorites.
Just kidding, your favorite was Francis.
My favorite.
So it does not have your favorites.
Audience, viewers, listeners, when I tell you that anytime Francis was on the screen, I did like a witch cackle, I am not lying. Like... He brought so much joy into my heart, and I grew up owning bulldogs. Like, French bulldogs were my family's dogs, so I knew this character. I knew him in real life. I knew him from theater, and I knew him from Pets. It was artfully dodgery done.
Artfully dodgery done.
Yes. Didgeridoo.
That's the sound of a didgeridoo.
Good job.
Thank you.
Wow.
On the castle stage in the 90s, there was a show called Disney Mania, right in front of Cinderella's castle, and it featured all of your favorites. Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers, Scrooge McDuck, Roger Rabbit, and Dodger. He comes out and does Why Should I Worry, and he's just twirling around the stage.
That sounds perfect for a show that is not supposed to be in front of Magic Kingdom's castle. Like, this would be the best show if it was transplanted to Hollywood Studios.
Yeah. And I think that's it in terms of, like, Disney World. I mean, there might be, like, artwork or something.
Yeah. Or, like,
you see, like...
I've seen merch for it.
Yeah, there's still merch for it. But this one kind of... Like, there's not too much about it in the parks. Not anymore.
That's a shame, because I can see them putting it, maybe if there was like a Streets of New York or something that still existed.
You could put like a window frame.
Well, they could do the Lady and the Tramp footprints that they have in front of, for those of you who don't know, in front of Tony's Town Square restaurant, in one of the concretes, they have like a heart with like Lady and the Tramp's like little paw prints in it. And they could have definitely done that in Streets of New York with like a teeny tiny cat paw, and then like Artful Dodger, like slightly bigger terrier paw.
It's just a hot dog link.
Yeah, hot dog links have like dragged through.
But yeah, that's it for connections to the parks. Now's the time where we try to construct and create a theme park attraction or some kind of presence for the parks for Oliver and Company. Like, if the movie had been more successful, well-known, and they were like, we need a thing. We need a thing.
Yeah, like, for as far as ride goes, I have an idea for a ride.
Okay.
I have no idea for a location, because I feel... I don't know. The
Streets of America over in Hollywood Studios, back when they used to have it.
Back when they used to have it, it's honestly making me think, like, why hasn't any of the Disney parks, why haven't they capitalized on, like, a New York area? Yeah. Especially because they have how many parks dedicated to, like, movie making and being in California and being in Hollywood and
they had one,
but it wasn't Hollywood Studios and California Adventure, and literally any, like, even Universals are all like Hollywood based, you know, like it's all inspired by California with palm trees and with colorful buildings and stuff, but you could really have some fun properties
in like a New York setting.
Yeah, I guess I would put it in whatever. What was the place that you put, like, the Newsies ride?
I think we built
there.
Okay,
that's where Oliver and Company is going.
I think we said there was a there was a cast aside idea for a park in Virginia. We thought that would have been the perfect place for it.
Yes. The perfect place for Oliver and Company, too, is Virginia.
For a non-existent ride, we're going to put a non-existent park.
No, think about it, because a New York area could also hold all of the Avengers, all of the Marvel properties, right?
Right.
Because the precedence is set for Stark Tower. I'm just going on a tangent. You can cut this out if you need to. But, like, it can hold all of your Marvel properties. It can hold your Newsies. It can have so many, like, show offerings, because Broadway exists. There would...
Yeah, you could throw in, like, a... Disney World, it would be so cool to throw in, like, a faux Broadway. Like, just
and that's
a show.
Where your, like, Mickey and the Magical Map can be. Or your Frozen Live at the Hyperion could be.
Right.
Or so on and so forth. Like, it doesn't make sense why there couldn't be an area.
Here's the thing. We are building something for Oliver and Company.
Yes.
And you think a New York exterior would work best.
Yes.
So we're building an entire land that is not Oliver and Company to put Oliver and Company in.
I'm talking about like an entire park that is New
York Park?
based. New York Park.
Oh, that'd be fun.
But it's every part of that park, like Marvel would be its own land. And then like Newsies, or obviously the theater would be like whatever icon the park is. And then you would have like the Newsies ride. You could have a million different properties in there that are all like cityscape properties. You know what I mean?
Yes. So
the ride.
Yeah.
I'm gonna throw some references out for you, okay? Spider-Man.
Yes.
Mickey's Runaway Railway.
Yep.
And Fast and Furious. Those are the references.
Is Tim here?
Sorry.
Is this going to just be a Fast and Furious pitch?
Basically you get in a bus.
No.
No, I want it to basically be Spider-Man, where it's kind of like, especially the latter half of Spider-Man, where you're kind of like in the buildings and you're swinging from building to building and you're looking through.
But instead of on webs, it's hot dog links.
So I want it to kind of follow the recipe of the second half of the Spider-Man ride. So you see like the architecture of the buildings, and you're kind of anti-gravity in a sense, where you're just like walking through New York, jumping from car to car, so on. And the ride vehicle kind of like jumps and like moves with you.
Like
right?
the dinosaur kind of.
Yeah, like dinosaur shaky technology. And I want it to have the busyness and the noise value of like a Runaway Railway and a Fast and Furious. So I would love it if it basically just followed Artful Dodger taking you on a heist, you know?
Yeah.
And you're just like going from place to place in New York, like jumping on pianos and riding on taxi cabs, like on the top of them.
And other New York things. So you see like...
You go through construction.
You break into the Met. You just crash into it.
Maybe.
You end up ice skate in that place by Rockefeller Center. You meet Jimmy Fallon.
No, because like I liked...
That's the 80s.
Yeah. No, a Street of New York, like a race through the streets with Jimmy Fallon, honestly, is a good reference too.
Yeah.
Literally just moving around in New York, going down different streets, following Artful Dodger. He's singing Why Should I Worry? You see all the other dogs in like different parts and you follow them for a little bit. And I want random things to be happening, like a pizza is flying next to somebody, and like you see the little Vespa shopping cart like drive next to you for a minute, and I want stuff to just happen, you know?
No, I totally agree.
And at the end, your heist is done and accomplished, and you get like
hot
a
dogs.
steak or something.
Oh, yeah.
Like a giant T-bone steak. Like, congratulations, you did it. And then the play out music is Why Should I Worry again? It's just played like 20 times.
I think that is the most perfect ride that can be done for Oliver and Company. So, is this movie a hidden treasure, or should it be locked away in the vault?
I don't think it should be locked away in the vault. I think one of my favorite things about Disney is, like, there's some good, and there's some kind of less good, but they're still good at the end of the day.
Right.
You know, like, this is not a world-changing, Oscar-nominated, like, best song receiving, all hail the movie kind of
Frozen,
movie.
Pinocchio.
This is not the box office breaker.
Toy Story, Beauty and the Beast. It's...
Yeah. But, like, the main point of any of the animated movies, especially when they were cranking them out in the 80s, was, literally put whatever you can on VHS to entertain the kids.
Mm-hmm.
I would have loved this when I was a kid.
Right.
And watched a million other movies like it. And it gave me the sentimental vibes now.
I think that's a good point. That and I personally hold Disney to a higher standard of like, your movie shouldn't just be for kids. It should be for everyone. But that doesn't take away from if something comes out and it is just for kids and it's a good version of what it is, but it's just not for adults. That still has value to it. Yeah. Even if it doesn't hold value to me in particular. Again, I don't want this to be Disney's habit, and obviously it isn't some 30 years later, because they kind of got back on track in the 90s, and obviously now with like nothing but bangers.
Well, I honestly miss like the days of like, right now, everything that comes out, like, be it a Moana or a Frozen or a Wreck-It Ralph, like, it's all their Studio A pieces, you know? And, like, all of their budget is going into these huge movies. But I almost miss when there was, like, a B studio and a C studio that were also working on movies that would not be their blockbuster, like, go-tos that they would market, that would just create whatever they could with their budget, you know?
Yeah. It's just a different type of thing. Yeah. And again, I think I would say Hidden Treasure with big parentheses around it. Like, I think it's as remembered as it should be. Yes. Because Oliver and Company, I feel like most people, if you like mention it, they have a vague idea of what you're talking about. Oh, yeah. It's not a piece that if you throw it out there, like the Computer Wore Tennis Shoes, where people be like, I never heard of that. I didn't know that was a movie. Like, people have heard of it. Some people watch it, like people our age, I think a good chunk of them who are Disney fans or grew up with Disney. Oh, yeah. Are at least familiar with either the song or the characters in some way or another. I think it's as remembered as it should be. Yeah. I do wish, honestly, that it was a little bit more represented in the parks, because it seems like such an easy pull. Right. That would just small things immediately hit hard, you know? And it does, again, doesn't have to be anything like a ride or a restaurant. No. It could be as simple as like naming a hot dog cart. Exactly. Like Dodgers hot dogs. Or whatever, Louis hot dogs. Yeah. And it could be the paw prints in the park, you know? The cement. And it could be just playing Why Should I Worry in some sort of music loop. Yeah, somewhere. In some sort of area of Hollywood studios. Well, yep. Jayden, I think I need to go steal some hot dogs now. You hate hot dogs. And theft. And yet, here I go. Here we are. And yet, here we are. Do a fun outro laugh with me. I'm so alone.